Myths are not stories that are untrue. Rather, they are tales that don't fit neatly into the historical record, which serve as a foundation to a culture. For 10 long years, the Achaeans and the Trojans have been locked in a stalemate, as the gods above debate who should win. For over a week, funeral pyres have illuminated the beaches of the Achaean camp, burning day and night. The atmosphere is grim and bleak. Plague, suffering, death, despair. First, it infected the dogs and the horses. But then Apollo, god of plagues, turned his divine wrath on the men. And now, hundreds lay dead. Meanwhile, up on Mount Olympus, Hera looks on concerned. She supports the Achaean side of the conflict and can't just sit idly by with so many dying. She has to do something. So, she puts a thought in Achilles' mind.
Call an assembly and figure out how to stop the plague. The fate of the entire nation depends on it.
Desperate for answers and hoping for a cure, the Achaean soldiers and kings answer Achilles' summons. There, Achilles asks his comrades if there are any seers or priests among them who can find out why Apollo is angry and tell them how they can fix this. A man stands up. Among the Achaeans, he is renowned for interpreting the will of the gods through the flight of birds. And he says he knows why Apollo's angry. But, certain powerful people might get angry if he said something. So he wants to be sure that he'll be protected from any consequences should he speak up. Achilles catches his meaning and swears to protect him, even if, for the sake of argument, someone like Agamemnon himself, maybe, were to get upset. The bird seer then explains that Chryseis was the daughter of Apollo's beloved priest, and that Agamemnon had dishonored the god by kidnapping her and refusing to accept ransom for her return. The only way to end the plague, he says, is to return Chryseis home, now without any ransom at all. Relieved that their suffering will finally end, the Achaeans support the plan. But Agamemnon isn't feeling it. He points a finger at the seer and says that he never prophesizes anything good about him. It's always evil this and dishonor that. Plus, he explains in a huff, he doesn't want to give up Chryseis. He likes her better than his wife, thinks she's prettier, nicer, and more talented. Oh, and by the way, he's the king. He will not just sit around and let Achilles have a prize while he goes without one. So then, he proposes a deal. He'll send Chryseis packing, but he'll take Briseis, Achilles' prize instead. Hearing this plan, Achilles then calls Agamemnon's bluff and raises. Oh, heck no. I'm not gonna be giving up my prize, okay? I earned her. Just give up the girl. I mean, you said it yourself. You're the king. It's your responsibility. Agamemnon grows red in the face. I'll give up the girl, but there is no way I'll let you keep a prize while I don't have one. I deserve a prize. Achilles, now fuming, couldn't help but laugh. Deserve? That's rich, because we do all the work, and you just sit around camp all day collecting prizes. Okay, alright. You're just challenging me because you're jealous. Well, you're not better than me. I am the king, and I do what I want. And what I want is to send Chryseis back and take Briseis away from you. Deal with it. Rage and anguish overcame Achilles, and he was moments away from striking Agamemnon down where he stood. But then Athena, who saw what was cooking, rushed down to intervene, freezing time to have a little chat with Achilles. She told him to calm down and not be rash. If he can endure the humiliation now and cut Agamemnon down with his words rather than his blade, he will be rewarded threefold in the future. Plus, the gods had plans for Agamemnon. Time then unfroze, and figuring it wasn't the worst plan to have the gods owe him a favor, rather than resort to violence, Achilles unleashed such a tirade of insults against Agamemnon that the entire camp was left totally speechless. Fine, if you really want to be that way, then I'll just take my ships and my armies and go home, because I'm tired of spending my time hauling in riches for a lazy, dog-faced, cowardly king. Go ahead and run! You're only as powerful as you are because the gods gave you special treatment anyway. Run all the way home if it makes you happy, but know that before you do, I will take Briseis away from you, and everyone else will know better than to ever challenge me." And once the berating had completed, he stormed out in a huff and went back to his camp. With the matter settled, Odysseus packs up Chryseis to send her home. And Achilles, still sulking, remembers Athena's words. If he just puts up with this now, he'll win in the end. But even so, as the guards take Briseis away, Achilles cries and begins to pray to his mother, the sea nymph Thetis. She coalesces from the sea foam and mist before her weeping son and asks him what is wrong. He fills her in on the details, and then begs her to appeal to the king of the gods, since her and Zeus are such old friends, and ask him to make the Achaeans suffer a great loss to the Trojans as punishment for humiliating Achilles and taking away his prize. Thetis then goes to Zeus and asks for this favor, but he is hesitant, because you see, he doesn't want to go against his wife Hera, who had supported the Achaean side of the war ever since Paris slighted her. And they already fight so often in front of the other gods, he doesn't want to add any fuel to that fire. On the other hand, Thetis is an old friend. And Achilles is almost like a son to him. So reluctantly, Zeus agrees, though he knows Hera will be furious when she finds out. And as the armies and the besieged Trojans slept on Earth that night, and the gods slept high above, Zeus lay awake, trying to think how he might bring honor to Achilles while dishonoring the Achaeans. Then suddenly, inspiration strikes him. He sends Agamemnon a dream, which says that the gods are no longer divided, and have now decided that the Achaeans will win the war. So if they attack the Trojans in full force, the gods will be with them, and they will be victorious. Agamemnon awakes with a start, and rejoices. He knows that dreams come from the gods, and if they have his back, then he doesn't even need Achilles to win. Excitedly, he then hatches a plan so crazy, it just might work. And the next morning, as the goddess Dawn brushed away the twilight with her rosy fingers, Agamemnon orders the Achaean forces to prepare for war. And we'll tell you all about how that particular dream plan turned out next time. Legendary thanks to Ahmed Ziad Turk, Alicia Bramble, Casey Mustia, Dominic Valenciana, Gunnar Clovis, Kyle Murgatroyd, and O'Reels1 for helping to make this show possible.